you think of any structure, it has to have the foundation first, and then it has to have the different walls set up, so the framework. And I think of that foundation as our legs, our feet, and then the framework I think of as our legs. And so today is going to be lots of stretching to really help to take care of the hamstrings, the hips, the glutes, all of those good areas of our body. So in that way, it's like we're helping to take care of the foundation. It's like we're the inspector going around making sure every little thing is exactly as it needs to be. It's, you know, you can hold up the right angle tool and it's perfect, and it's all solidly screwed together. Just the structure is perfect. So with this focus on our legs, hips, this lower part of our body today, with that idea to help get us started, let's begin. The arms stretch all the way to the back wall. Let's start to let the shoulders wiggle to the right. And shoulders wiggle to the left. Take it a couple of times, nice and easy, back and forth. Side body's woken up a little bit. Returning back to flat. Let's take the right knee to the chest. Hug around that right knee. Pull that knee into the shoulder area. Maybe I use that right foot to trace some circles. So it's like I'm loosening up the tightness of the ankle area. Start to extend the leg up to the sky. Grab on wherever you can reach, side, calf, foot. Feel that nice extension upward. Our first chance to get into the hamstrings, so we're going to do just a couple of bonus breaths. Really try to feel yourself extending the leg as straight as possible. So we're not hyperextending the knee, but it's trying to lengthen. More deep belly breaths, just like that. Okay, now let's take a couple of breaths with that hip opener. So that right heel hooks to the back left part of the fabric, because it's by where our head is. Hook to that back end, slide the shin in. If you're ever confused, just peek around it. The mirror, whatever you feel. Right heel hook to back left, like our pigeon pose. Put a couple of good breaths. Inhale. Exhale, start to free up the leg. Drop it all the way down. Second side, just as much care and attention. So hug the knee in. Do a couple of those ankle rolls. Sometimes I get snap, crackles, pops out of that area. So that feels pretty good. Extend the leg up to the sky. And then we're going to hold just a little bit longer than normal. Got that nice extension. And little by little, we're trying to lengthen even further. Two more deep belly breaths, trying to find even more length in that hamstring. let's take that left heel to put on that back right part of the fabric, slide the shape in. One more nice inhale. Good exhale. Free out the leg, drop it down. Let's come up twisted plank. Let's invert right away. So once we're up, our thumbs hook onto the fabric that's behind us. This helps us to push the fabric right about where the pant line is behind us. So once we've got the fabric there, lean halfway back and grab that thumb. Good, wide legs, and then the ankles wrapped around the fabric. So you've got the ankles in place, you're free to let go of hands and just sometimes I'll do little shoulder stretches while I'm here. So clasping hands behind the back, the arms just kind of fall backwards. That can be nice. Sometimes I'll take an arm across the front of my chest and just hug it in with the other arm. Just anything that feels good. And we'll do a twist with one hand locked to each end of the mat. So lots and lots of options here. Just do things that feel good for shoulders, back. Just refreshing on my rule for inversions. Don't feel like you have to be upside down as long as anybody else. You're just staying as long as it feels good for your body. You're welcome to head up, but no rush. Just give yourself all the time that feels good. Up, notice how your elbows and lean forward. Nice stretch for the back. You're up. Go ahead and roll your neck out. So roll your head over one shoulder. And head over to the other shoulder, just nice. My baby, sorry. Still no rush to be up. Those that are up, let's take a little clasp of the hands behind the back. We're sliding hands over to the right hip and dropping our right ear to right shoulder. And head up, hands over the left hip, left over ear to left shoulder. And head up, hands down by the sacrum, pull back for a moment. This is mostly for the shoulders, just kind of roll the shoulders back, helping to open up that area. Good. And if you're not out yet of the inversion, go ahead and start heading out. So we release the clasp of hands. Let's take a twist to the front door side. So bunch of fabric to front door. And the shoulder that's closer to that painted wall, open that arm or circle it around the back of it. here. Exhale. Release. Regrip the fabric to the other side. And again, it's the arm that's closer to that feet wall. That's one that opens or circles around the back of the head. It's bunch both hands to the back wall side. Yep, the back door side. Back wall side. Then it's your other arm that opens. That's it. Let it drop around the head. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Return to face forward. Let's bring our right leg up. We're grabbing onto it and trying to lift it as high as possible. So again, getting into that hamstring. Lower down. Second leg up. Find that nice extension. Inhale. Exhale as we release. We're gonna several times today, we're gonna go deeper inside the fabric. So here, let's bunch up the fabric that points you to the center of the room. That way we can see a little bit easier. You're gonna lock your arms straight. And then that creates a little bit of space for your hip. So that leg, that hip that just got lifted, that leg up and over. Good. On working on it. If it's a struggle today, no stress. But once you're here, we're going to do kind of like a cat-cow. So bunch up the fabric in front of you again. When you push the arm straight, we're rounding the spine. And then when we pull the fabric into the heart, the legs try to lift and press. Good. Bend the knees, pull in, arch the heart, gaze up, and press. Good. Take another 5. Exhale to press. 4. Gaze up and press. 3. 2. 1 more. Gaze up. Inhale. Exhale. Press. Good. Now, your ankle that's closer to the mirror side, take that ankle up onto the fabric. So this is meant to be a nice hip opener. If your hip's really tight and you need to make it less tight, push into it. That makes it a little easier. If you want to make it deeper, instead hug it, pulling it close. So the same side that we're working on, take the arch of that foot up onto the gathered fabric. Toes are turning out. So go ahead and switch your foot so the toes are on the other side. Yep, you got it. And then start to slide the arch of the foot back. So you got the heel on one side, toes on the other. You got it. So again, same as the same options as the last one, where if you push into it, it makes it a little less intense on that hamstring. You start to back your arms off, it pulls the leg closer. So you get to choose how deep this is to be brought. 2 more breaths. Good. And release this leg, second ankle up. Hug or push, depending on what feels best. More deep belly breath. And then fill your inhale. Release that exhale. Okay, arch of this foot onto the fabric. Your toes are turning out like the knee. So put it outward. Both on the side. Go ahead. Switch your knees. Yeah, that's the way. That'll feel more rolling up. Good. And then just whatever extension that hamstring has to be. No stress. Two more deep breaths. So after that second breath, this foot comes to the mirror side of the room. Your hips will be off center at first, so just shift them left, right, left, right, left, right until you're facing forward. Beautiful. So later on, we'll build up with a splits variation using vampire pose. But first, I just want us to practice vampire because that might be new to some of us. So if you're familiar with vampire, just go up into it, relax, just enjoy vampire. For those that are new, what we're doing is taking one layer of fabric up to cover up the back side of our shoulders. And you don't want it to be too much fabric. If it's all bunched up on your neck, it'll kind of push your neck uncomfortably. So just one thin layer, but it's completely covering shoulders. And I'm using my elbows like chicken wings to help gather the excess and push it down to my waist. So then once I've got that excess to my waist, I lay back, my hips past the end of the fabric. And what I want to do is take the excess fabric from my waist down to my feet. So I need to step my heels in. And then at the same time that I lift my hips up, I straighten my legs out. That takes all that extra down. Sometimes you have to do that 2 or 3 times. Step the feet in again. Lift hips up and scoot. And do that again. Step in. Good. Okay, so one thin layer. Hands reach up high, left and right. So deep grip. Now let the feet come up. The feet are on the inside, pushing out. So it's right above where your hands are. That's the feet just bunched up. So you push into that spot, and then by pushing, you're able to rise up. Here, let me help you get the placement. Yeah, not a problem. So here, go further right here, push into that.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
There, to that. Yeah. You see, you lift your hips all the way up, so you're completely upside down. Yep. Push into it. Yeah. Just like that. And then major for the lift. One sliding. There. Oh, that's it. Yep, you got it.
Oh.
Looks like the majority are out, so you're giving yourself a little bit of time. You're upside down for a while, so give yourself a little bit of time to orient back to flipping around. And then your way to help me know that you're doing a lot better is to sit up. Otherwise, just lay back a little bit longer. Sometimes the head is like, I need some time. Okay. So same if you're here and you're like, I need to just sit. Now that we're sitting up, just stay for a little bit. But if you're still feeling good, bunch up the fabric, lift up and out. And then let's take the fabric out all the way out in front of us. So it's not a tense grip, it's just a nice relaxed grip that's a bit wider than shoulders. Let your hips go back, your chest go forward. And just do some easy wiggles left and right, so like you're wagging your tail just a little bit. So now we're going to sway all the way to the front door, all the way to the back door. Let's stick together, front and back, front and back. Next time at the front door, stay. Good. So your right elbow points it down to the ground. So allow some nice extension through that left arm. Good. Straighten both forward, sway to the back door. Second side. So now it's the left elbow down. Good. Straighten both forward. Do a nice cat. So we're rounding the vertebrae in the spine. And a cow, we try to droop the belly down and even gaze up. Good. One more, cat. And cow. Beautiful. Soft grip the knees. Roll the spine all the way up. Right ankle inside. And what we're going to do is either leave the hands on the fabric, you're sliding your hands down, your heart comes closer to the thigh, or perhaps the hand comes all the way around to the foot. Time to make it more of a balance challenge. Staying here just a little while, helping with the foundation of our house. Increase the flexibility here. More breaths. Good. Walk your hands up the fabric. We're going to hop directly on your plumb line and then start to open this right leg to the right. If it feels like your leg is trying to pull backwards or forwards, that means just change exactly where you're hopping. And so it should kind of just like float right at your side. So once you're floating, you've got two options with the arms. You can either just slide the left hand up, right hand down, and just stretch like this. Or you can take it more like a ballet bar. Your right hand reaches for that foot, and then left hand tries to reach up and over. Good, so that one is more of a balance challenge, so don't feel like you have to if it's not trying to stay. So 2 more breaths, and you can always slide your hand up if it feels like you're going over. Okay, hands on the fabric to walk up if you're not there already. And then bend the knee, send the foot behind you. We're going to slide the hands up nice and high. Try to kick the leg back into the fabric. Maybe even lean back a little bit. So it's a back bend and hip, the front of the hip, hamstrings, all sorts of things. Beautiful, nice and restful after that. Bend the knee down. Set the fabric on each shoulder behind you. Just lean yourself backwards. Quad stretch. What part is? Oh, you're like, hello, quad. That's okay. This is a new friend. Okay, stand up on your left foot. You're gonna send this right leg back out in front of you. Maybe even hop back just a little bit for balance. And this will be more of a splits forward. So hand slide up and sink your weight as far forward as feels good. If even just standing here is rough, don't feel like it has to be much. Sometimes just letting that leg be lifted is plenty of work. Inhale, nice exhale. Weight over standing leg. We're going to switch. So you can either step this foot out, step the other foot in, or go through a swinging switch. So step in, and then second foot out. End up with left ankle. So the first part is just heart slides down, our hands are down on the fabric, or the challenge, try to reach for the It's a balance challenge though, so don't ever feel like you have to take it. Also know if ever you feel like your balance is getting lost, since we've got something hooked up high, you don't want to like trip ourselves. So if ever you feel like you're losing your balance, slide the hands as high as you can, as fast as you can. That'll help yourself. Two more breaths here. Walk up the fabric. We're hopping to that spot that's just right where the leg can float to our side. Take some time to find it. The knee should be trying to rotate upward. That makes it more comfortable. And then you can either just grip on the fabric, right hand high, left hand low, or you can try to reach the left hand to the foot and the right hand leans up and over. More breaths. To rise up, we're bending the knee, sending the foot behind us, one hand on each side. The first one's the intense one, so hand is sliding up as high as you can reach. Try to kick the leg back into the fabric as far as you can. If it's at a point where you could lean back a little bit also, that's a good. Inhale. Exhale, work your way back up to stand. This is the quad stretch. So bend knee, just lean your shoulders back. Go ahead and come up. Slide the leg out in front. Hands up high this time, splits forward. Yeah. He's a yoga teacher. He hasn't gone through the aerial training, but I think he's done enough that he probably could. Honestly, you'd probably be the best at this class to just like take over. You're like, now we're doing this.
I was gonna say, if you need students take over, it's just gonna be inversions.
That's a good point. I love it.
We're gonna be like strength building.
Yeah. And here we go. Boom, boom, boom. That's okay. Well, if you wanted to practice as our weight comes back now, if you want to practice the swinging switch, You can just kind of hold in the pike for a little while. Sometimes it's nice just to kind of feel both hamstrings stretch together. But ultimately, we're just going to step out. So no stress if you don't want to. Just going to have a fun little transition. Okay, let's use our hip hang to get into a nice splits also. So fabric by your hip bones. I like to take my weight forward so that the slack is out. And then free out your thumbs, drop your hands down. You need to take your hips all the way back under palm length. So 2 or 3 really big steps. Right leg kicks wide to remind you to catch your toes on the outside of the fabric. So wrap the toes. Yeah, sometimes you have to like lift the other foot for just a moment. So you're on the inside, go ahead and try to catch it on the outside. That'll help. Yeah. That's okay, I can come around and help. Once you have the toes wrapped, see if you can slide the foot high and still one. That's a, oh, too high? Okay. Give me just a moment for you. Let's get it. Catch and drop it back down. Okay. Yeah, that's a little turned off. So if your toes are wrapped, like I said, try to slide high. That'll help to stretch the hamstring. We'll take a couple more breaths on this first. On each side, I'm gonna have them switch. Okay, go ahead and slide this foot down. You'll start working on switching sides. So gentle, gentle release, and then second foot close. Little turn. Try to see if the other foot can get as close to the ground as possible, and that'll be what really stretches it. Good. So after you've done each side, you're welcome to just take the hip hang. So both toes release. We're hooking around the shins. And if this ever starts to feel like too much for the hips, it's that deep massage, just come back to this nice downward facing dog, and that'll help you be able to lift some of your weight off of it. Sometimes I'll come back in and out of the inversion. So stay as long as it feels good until you're ready to be out, no rush. So if you're having both up, your toes are wrapping around the outside. It'll help to make sure you don't fall out. So that's you.
So am I backwards?
Yep, you're backwards. So toes are on the inside right now, so just wrap around the outside. That's okay. We'll get it another day.
Well, I wasn't even able to do it with the rest of it yesterday.
Well, good job then. Yeah, good work. Love these little steps that we're taking. So if you're ready, start to walk your feet underneath the body. Slowly roll your head up. And we're leaning back into the fabric. So fabric's about where shoulder blades are. Let's just give, especially that hip area that just got that massage, either you can pound it out Or you can stretch it out. So you'll bend one knee, just stretch through that area. Either way, whatever feels better. Know that those massages that the fabric gives us, it gets better over time. So don't feel like you're, if it's really intense today, don't feel like it's always going to be that way. It's better and better over time. In fact, it almost gets addicting where it's like, oh, I need that kind of massage. Great. So if the head has had enough time, let us stand up on our own. We're going to take just a couple more leg stretches. So right ankle back in. Let's feel what the splits is like now. So hands up high or down low. I'll let you choose this one. And weight comes over standing leg. Let's take a nice twist. Left hand grabs the right strand. Right hand opens up to the twist. Other way. There you go.
I'm watching her ears.
I know. I flipped. It can be confusing. Good. Return forward. Bend this knee out to the side. Send the head through and sink your weight forward. That gets us into the hip next. If the knee has any pain from this, by the way, hop a little bit closer. Lean forward. Okay. Weight back, slip the knee through, slide the hands up. A nice little warrior one. Okay, weight back. We're going to switch sides. So again, you can either just step the foot out, step the foot in, or take the swinging switch for a moment and switch. That's okay, good. Good little hops. So then either hands down or hands up. Nice hamstring opener. Sometimes you'll be amazed when you're stretching the hamstrings this much during a class. Sometimes you get sore from just stretching the hamstrings the next day. So we may or may not get that to that point tomorrow. We'll see. Stand up, twist. So right hand grabs left, left hand opens up. Good. Returning forward, bend the knee, head is through, and then sink your weight as much forward as feels okay for the knees. Again, if the knees are in any pain, we don't want that to be the case, so hop forward and keep more of the weight over your hips. So weight over standing leg. Let the leg lengthen first and then slip to thigh. Hands up, sink some weight forward. Okay. Coming all the way out. Now let's give you a nice straddle back. So let's take the fabric behind us. Our hands are holding the fabric across the hips, across the sacral area. One foot goes back. Bend both knees as you lean back into it, taking the slack out. And then we don't want to swing like crazy, so we need to tiptoe back forward under plumb line. And then hands up face wide. That's okay, put more pressure. That's it. And hands up face wide. Then feet wrap around. As soon as you've got your feet wrapped, again, you're safe to let go of the hands. Gently lean back. That was good. Exactly. If you're up for it, just take those stretches. And even fun to kind of walk yourself forward and just let your hips drop so it pulls your spine along. From here too, we will twist on the one side. And maybe use another side. Even do a hip opener from here, one ankle up, just like feet relax. Start heading out if you guys are ready. It's nice to do these nice little knee circles as well. Just pull back and circle forward. Yeah, give your head some time. I see it in both of you. You're like, wow. So give it some time. Yeah. So no rush. When you feel like you're ready to be back up, let's head inside. I think we'll forego the vampire split today, but we'll take a couple more of those stretches just from deeply sitting inside. So grab the front end, wave it left and right. Yeah, sometimes you have to sort it out the fabric a little bit. Good. About half the fabric in your hands. Back up under the metal pieces. Slide in. Bunch up the fabric to the center of the room. Walk your arms straight and the hip that got lifted, that's again the one that's swings back and over. Good. So this time what we're going to do is make a stop sign with one hand. That hand pushes into the fabric directly in front of your face. So you're trying to find the center of the fabric. The second hand helps that foot come up, the place where your hand is. Once you've got one foot up, it's easy to just take the second foot up right next to the first. And then you'll try to let both legs lengthen upward as much as possible. Fold this in like a nice little taco. It's okay if the knees need to be a bit bent. But just try to let those muscles of the back relax into the stretch. Two more deep belly breaths right here. Find the bottoms of feet together. The knees are open like a cobbler's pose. A couple good breaths in this pose. Tune back into the legs and hips. Imagine it like a building. Just imagine we hope to kind of line things up just a little bit more square. So stacking a little bit better. Helping our body to be in a little bit less pain. Good breaths right. Good. So now you've got two options for Shavasana. If you'd like to lay down just like a normal Shavasana, like how we started class, so just let both of your feet go to the mirror and then lay all the way back. If instead you'd like to be in a cocoon, let one leg open up to each side. You'll take each foot into the fabric like this, and then just let the bottoms of feet touch together. Okay, either version of Shavasana. Make sure your back is set up comfortably. So if you need to pick yourself and put them back down, that will feel nice. But either way, we've got a few minutes here just to relax, to let our body integrate all the benefits of practice. So all you have to do for the next couple of minutes is just Here, begin to take your inhales. Your exhales. Introduce little movements back to the toes, wrists. Start to stretch out the body in ways that feel really good. Take the next minute or so to slowly work our way back up to a sitting and facing forward position. So if you'd like to here, do a couple of stretches like extend the legs or leaning the spine over to each side for a moment. Take those little moments of stretch. Sooner or later, when you feel ready, you'll start to work both legs forward. Open up with hands in front of the heart. We're just connecting to that simple idea of giving extra love to the legs, the hips, this lower part of the body. Imagining that that's our foundation, the framework of our house. So as those parts are very square, very solid, very established, the rest of the body can build its way upward to any type of beautiful mansion that you can imagine. So with this idea to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale. Be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.